Hi, I'm Lili Whittington with EXP Luxury, proudly serving the villages, Florida and the surrounding counties. I specialize in 55 plus communities, and today I want to walk you through one of the most important parts of any real estate transaction: deadlines. Every deadline written into a contract can directly affect how the deal turns out. So let's break them down. First, offer expiration date. When a buyer submits an offer, it includes an expiration date, meaning the seller must respond by that time. This date is set by the buyer. Some agents give a very short window to respond because they want to lock into the home quickly for the client. My philosophy is if a buyer wants to buy and a seller wants to sell, let's get it done. No need to delay. If the seller misses that deadline and there is no signed extension, the buyer is free to walk away and look for another home. Personally, I'm not a fan of extension. If we're constantly pushing deadlines, why have them at all? Second, earnest money deadline. Once the offer is accepted, the buyer must submit their earnest money deposit showing they're serious. If it is not handed over at the time of the offer, the contract usually allows a set time frame, 24 hours and 96 hours depending on the situation, to get it to the title company or real estate office. If it isn't received in the time, the contract can be voided and the seller has the right to accept another offer. Third, pre-qualification letter deadline. This is often overlooked. Sometimes the buyer includes a pre-qualification letter with the offer. Other times the contract specifies it needs to be submitted by, say, 5 p.m. the day of the acceptance. If it's not delivered on time, the contract can be considered invalid. Fourth, objection deadline. This one is huge. The objection deadline is when the buyer must complete the inspection and formally request any reports. If the buyer misses this deadline, they are rejecting the home as is, even if something like the roof needs replacing. At that point, it is often too late to ask the seller to fix anything. 5. Resolution deadline. If the buyer submits an objection, both sides must work through it by the resolution deadline. This is when they agree on what reports will be made. If the seller doesn't respond or an agreement isn't reached by the day, the buyer must decide: back out or accept the home as is. Extension are allowed after this point. 6. Title objection deadlines. This deadline doesn't get much attention, but it matters. After receiving the title documents, the buyer has a specific number of days to raise any concerns. Missing this deadline can mean waiving the right to object. 7. Closing date. The final and most obvious date, closing date. This is when ownership officially changes hands. Whether or not you meet this deadline can depend on your lending, appraisal timing, and how busy the market is. Right now, with so many refinancings and purchases, appraisers are back up. But there is a topic for another time. As your trusted real estate advisor, I help guide you through every step. But I always recommend tracking these dates yourself too. Whether it is in your phone or in your fridge or writing on a sticky note. Don't let a miss deadline delay your dream home. If you're buying or selling in the villages, Florida or nearby areas, especially if you're looking for a 55 community, I'm here to help. Let's make your real estate journey smooth and successful. I want you to love where you live. See you soon.